With everything happening with AI in the world right now, I really do think as a crypto investor, if you're into altcoins, there is a massive opportunity staring you right in the face and you can't even hide it. And I'm going to show you the numbers as to why I think the growth potential for these AI altcoins is absolutely off the charts. Whenever we look at the projections of where this market is going and we look at the top projects' current valuations, I think that the sky is the limit for AI altcoins, and I'm going to go over that with deep knowledge and research in this video. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. And as always, guys, be sure to drop down below. If you've been enjoying the content here on In the Game, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more. Monday through Friday, we have you covered with everything you need across crypto to win long term. And of course, a shout out to our sponsors. The $120,000 trading competition does start next week, 7 days from now. You have some time to jump in and also join Team Hustle. Registrations literally opened like yesterday or today. And let's stack up the team and let's compete for a share of $120,000. And as I mentioned at the end of the video yesterday, I just want to do a little housekeeping. All of my live content now, if you want more content, there's a link down below you can hit to go to the Kick channel. I'll be live there a few days a week. We can just do a little more things across prediction markets, crypto, etc. There instead of here on the main channel. So you can check that out down below. Let's go ahead and jump right into it, guys. We're seeing a big market bounce. I mean, Bitcoin sitting almost at that. It just crossed 72 like 30 minutes ago as of me recording this, but now we're sitting at that $71,800 level. We had Hyperliquid at 40. We have Bittensor sitting still around that $335 level. Near Protocol's up 20% on the week. It's been a really good week for crypto in general. And I think, this comes to show that exposure, even when it's uncomfortable, as we talked about yesterday, is the most important thing. Being in the market is much more important than just trying to time in the market. Is going to beat timing the market and making sure that you're allocated to top tokens, especially throughout the bear market. But let's jump into the main content of this video, which is AI. I mean, unless you are living under a rock, or you don't have a smartphone, or you have never heard of ChatGPT, or your coworkers aren't, basically getting all the answers, or, doing their code on their Excel spreadsheets using Claude, or your kids aren't using ChatGPT for their homework yet. AI is taking over everything. We see here Claude's rise. We're seeing OpenAI, which expects $100 billion in ad revenue by 2030, which is just absolutely ridiculous. And then we get to these numbers, which just puts it into perspective how large this industry is going to continue to grow. AI market is projected to hit $4.8 trillion by 2033, emerging as a dominant frontier technology. And you can see here, blockchain, they say in 2033, will have 14% of that market share. Now, if you just do quick math on that, that would be putting blockchain at, billions and billions and billions of dollars as far as that $4.8 trillion level. I mean, it would be ridiculous. I believe that would put it at $600 billion. Just, easy math, 15%, 4 trillion. I think that puts it at around $600 billion. And even so, just looking currently at some of the top AI alts in the space, when you see Bittensor Tau is occupying only 0.06%, 0.06% of the total projected growth of that future, what we're looking at in the future. So that $4.8 trillion industry, we're looking at the top AI crypto at $3 billion fully diluted market cap. Even Near Protocol, it's less than that, 0.03% of AI market share. And that's from current perspectives. So we move up, to that $4.8 trillion level. I mean, just imagine where these market caps could be on some of these top AI coins. And yes, decentralized AI does have a future here. If you missed it, Jensen Huang talking about how important decentralized AI is, which leads me to what I tweeted yesterday. And AI has taken over the world. And there's people that really aren't allocating properly into AI crypto. While yes, I do think Hyperliquid, Bitcoin, those types of tokens are here to stay. Bulletproof investments, in my opinion. But looking at the AI sector, it's one of those things that is just going to keep growing, keep evolving, and it's going to be at the front of mainstream technology for the next 10, 20 years. I don't really know what revolutionary tech is going to come after AI. I just think they're all going to come from AI, if that makes sense. You have a refrigerator and you put something inside the refrigerator. The people who made the refrigerator made a lot of money, but the people who made the Coke products inside of it made way more money. That's just kind of the analogy. So we have AI as a base layer. I heard this on, I think it was Chamath's podcast. AI is the base layer, but everything that builds with AI that goes in the fridge, so to speak, is going to really make a killing. So talking about a multi-trillion-dollar industry, as we see here, projected to hit 4.8 trillion, and they think 14% of it's going to be on the blockchain, which is just absolutely, if that happens, I mean, we're going to be sitting pretty, but could simply allocate into a couple of tokens and be set up extremely well. And if you don't believe me, funds like Grayscale in their holdings right now, we see they have Bittensor Tau, Near, Render, Filecoin, The Graph, and IP. Now, let me be completely transparent here. I think that you could probably hold half of these and be satisfied. I don't think you need to allocate into 6 tokens in the AI space. I really think you only need 3. And I think you can eliminate 3 of these completely from your scope. Number 1 is Bittensor Tau. And I had tweeted this, or actually it was in a video earlier this week where I talked about how Bittensor Tau feels like Y Combinator of AI, because you look at the AI landscape underneath Bittensor, we have the Bittensor Tau token, 3.7 billion. That's what's occupying in the future 0.06% of that $4.8 trillion valuation. Imagine where this thing's going to go. I mean, $15-20 billion if it does kind of fill that gap as the industry grows for decentralized AI. The Bittensor Tau subnets, so the startups that are building on the base layer. So the graphic, technically where I'm pointing, you see the graph here. So Bittensor Tau is valuated at 3.7 billion. The subnets, which are the startups building on Bittensor Tau, there's about 128 of them. I'm not exactly certain the latest number, but I believe there's 120 plus subnets on Bittensor Tau. Cumulatively, the Bittensor Tau subnet ecosystem is worth $1.7 billion. That's actually more than Near Protocol, which is crazy. So the broad ecosystem of Bittensor Tau is massive. You have Tau as the base layer, the infrastructure, the decentralized piece that they can build on top of, and you have 100 plus companies that have filled out valuations of 100 or 1.7 billion so far, and this is still going to grow as we've seen Templar, Targan, Shoots, Ridges. We've seen Bitcast having a lot of success. So this just shows you the dominance, and I think that if you are going to just choose one of the AI coins, this is definitely the no-brainer. And then it's followed by Near Protocol and ICP. So this just shows you the dominance of this ecosystem. And for people who always say they're too late, you are not too late. This thing is still 50% more plus, more than 50% below all-time highs. And if you believe AI is going to grow, I don't know how you don't allocate a piece of your crypto portfolio to AI. And as I said, it's kind of like Y Combinator, because Tau gives the emissions every single day, which is technically funding to these different subnets, which then distribute them to the stakers of their alpha token. We have a full tutorial how to stake your Tau for emissions. We posted on Monday. So if you want to check that out after this video, you can go do that. But going back to this, there is a full-blown Bittensor Tau trust built on top of Grayscale. And I saw this tweet from Altcoin Daily: buy Bittensor before BlackRock announces it. And that's actually a pretty good lens to look at it, because right now the Grayscale Bittensor trust is really the only high-level institutionally available way to get allocation into Tau. And when I say institutionally, yes, you can go open a Coinbase and buy Tau, but even like still to this day, like asking someone to go buy cryptos just on their crypto soul investment account, you get some backlash, right? But if it's available eventually on, what we've seen from BlackRock or Fidelity or all these different things, all of a sudden it becomes much more credible, but also importantly, much more accessible. Tau is a hard token to understand, get allocation into, get it over to the Tau blockchain for a lot of beginners, right? They're just going to buy it and hold it. But the money is made for the ones that actually put it on chain and it actually interact with the subnet ecosystem. So once we see a BlackRock Tau ETF or any other big player step in, it's going to be a big snowball effect because everyone, my parents, your parents, my grandparents, they'll have availability to buy Bittensor Tau in their investment accounts on mainstream platforms. It's just going to be absolutely amazing. Moving on down the line, when you look at what Grayscale was invested into, Grayscale sitting in 43% of near and 43% of Tau and 24% of near protocol. We see near protocol is rising this week, up 18% on the 7-day chart. And I think it's important to note, this is an underrated project still to this day. It's right under those blue chips like, Tau, Sui, Ton, Zcash, etc. as far as market cap goes. But when you look at the usage, you would never even expect this. Top 5 L1s by daily users in Q1 2026 near protocol with more users, overall individual users, than Solana, which is just ridiculous to put into perspective. And I do think that near protocol does have a place if you are looking at just simply allocating some capital, maybe out of your 100% of your portfolio. I'm just going to spitball numbers here. Maybe you go 35% Bitcoin, 15, 20% into, altcoins like a Hyperliquid, et cetera. But maybe you want to allocate 20, 25% of that to AI altcoins. I think that near protocol certainly fits that narrative. And then their third actual holding here in their portfolio is Render. The only 3 tokens in their AI bag here that they're holding over 10% of are Tau, Near, and Render. And we look, the market's starting to kick up, and we're actually seeing, the start of this run is where the AI coins start to thrive. We see green on the AI tokens starting this run. We see Renders up 37% this month, still very much in the narrative. And look, I think that those 3 are the only AI altcoins that you need to survive. And really the base level of this video is when you look at Grayscale, which is, basically an institution at this point in time, you can see the ones they're banking the heaviest into are Tau, Render, and Near. And really, if you add all their Filecoin, Graph, and IP holdings, that's only as much as their Render bag. So that shows you they don't believe as much in these 3. The smart money is buying Tau, Near, and Render. They're here to stay. Their ecosystems make the most sense. And I do think that those are the only altcoins in the AI space that you need to take advantage of the wave that is happening, the transition in technology from the way that we've seen it for our entire lives into an AI dominant world where people are hiring based on AI, or they're letting go of workforce based on AI. If you have AI proficiency, you're going to go so far in the modern world. And I think in crypto, we have to be banking on that and capitalizing on that, right? So as a capitalist opportunity, I think that allocating heavily into Bittensor Tau and then spreading your bet between Near and Render, if we see decentralized AI occupy even 7% of this, it doesn't have to be 14. I think 14 is very, very high. Even if it occupied 7%, if blockchain occupied 7% of that $4.8 trillion, that would put decentralized, that would be incredibly bullish. It would put decentralized AI, blockchain AI valued close to $300 billion. I mean, it would just be ridiculous if we saw that happen. And I think that the biggest opportunity in crypto right now, it's not meme coins. It's certainly not leverage trading until you liquidate yourself. It is allocating into quality tokens. There's the Bitcoins, the Hyperliquids, which I advocate for every day. But I do think AI could be the biggest growth potential out of all of them. I'm allocated. Let me know what you think. What AI tokens are you buying? I know ICP people are going to hate that I'm not saying ICP. I just don't really think it's necessary to be in anyone's portfolio in 2026. But let me know your thoughts down below in the comments, and like and subscribe for more every single day. We have a big video coming tomorrow. I'll be live on Kick later this afternoon as well, guys. So I will see you guys next time. As always, trade responsibly, my friends, and of course, stay bullish, my friends.